Okay, welcome everybody to the next episode of Specrapular. We are a podcast that talks about movies and shit, mostly shit. You know, I realized, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Actually, I'll get to that in a second. I am one of your hosts, Brandon Aquino, but I am joined by my best friend and confidant, Mike Vera.
That's me.
Okay, so you know what I realized is that when I say we talk about movies and shit, it kind of sounds like we're talking shit. And so sometimes we are, for sure. But like, you know, we're more so still reviewing the movie.
Okay.
And then talking shit about other things.
Well, seeing as you came up with the fucking tagline.
Yeah, what did you do for this podcast, fault. Mike? What did you do?
I bring the fucking yucks, motherfucker.
Is that what you bring? So,
I think so.
In this, let's just say, who's the straight man in this? Me?
I don't think that's not how this dynamic works.
Are we both? What's our dynamic?
Well, I mean, I don't.
We're not the odd couple because we're almost the same person. When it comes to humor, we're almost the same person.
That is a good question.
Yeah,
because we were just talking about like Steve Martin short.
Yeah,
but Steve would play the straight man
right.
to Martin's shenanigans.
Correct. Right? The flamboyantness of it all. But Steve Martin also does a good.
Yeah, Steve Martin's super silly too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know, I would say you're the straight man in this.
I think so. Yeah,
because there's times when I definitely will go off the rail as I'm snorting the rails, and you'll kind of bring it back in. You're like, why do you get like this? Why do you like? And I'm like, okay, Seinfeld. Why do you get like this? So, but we're not really talking shit. Sometimes I do bring up valid points, right, for a movie.
Yeah. What is your point? Why do you ask the question?
I was just curious, like, because I did want to change the name of our podcast a while ago, never did, and I think
Talking Ish with Mike and Brandish.
Yeah, exactly.
That's almost there.
Yeah. Well, it still has to see. Spectacular has nothing to do with movies either. Like, what does that even mean?
True.
And so when I put up our business cards at random places, I put it up spectacular on the exterior so people see that. I'm like, what does that mean? And they flip it around and it says we talk about movies and shit, and then it has our links.
Fooled you.
Fuck you. That's what it says. You're an idiot. And then put this card back. But anyway, I'll just think about it because again, I've considered changing the name to see something more relevant. And also changing our tagline, but
but then what happens when people can't find it anymore and lose those tens and tens of listeners?
Yeah, those tens of hundreds of listeners. That's a great question, and I'll figure it out.
Okay.
But anyway, Mike. So what movie are we discussing today?
Today on the podcast, we are discussing from the year 2000.
All right, Conan.
Traffic. Starring.
Thanks. That delay of suspense, really, yeah.
No, directed by Steven Soderbergh, written by Stephen Gahan. I think it's Gaghan.
Sounds right.
I think that G.
What if it's just gone?
Gone. Okay, maybe that extra G is
fine.
Starring. Oh, actually, let me give you a little synopsis here.
Thanks.
A conservative judge is appointed. I already don't like this because it starts with him, but okay.
Starts with Douglas.
Is appointed by the president to spearhead America's escalating war against drugs, only to discover that his teenage daughter is addicted to the crack cocaine. Two DEA agents. He doesn't even talk about that. Whatever. Two DEA agents protect an informant. A jailed drug baron's wife attempts to carry out the family business. That's a terrible synopsis. Is it or is it not?
What I would say is this. These three connecting stories are happening and drugs are involved.
Yeah.
Talk about traffic, am I right?
Talk about a traffic jam.
I do like that each one of their stories did intertwine at one point. Like Catherine Zeta walks by Benicio and what else happened? I think that's it.
That's the whole movie.
That's it right there. Yeah, and then getting into Mexico, there's traffic. So I think that's the main thing about it. Getting into Mexico, no traffic.
No.
Getting out of Mexico, traffic.
Yeah.
Which blows my mind.
Did we just do Sicario?
Yeah. About 3 episodes ago? 4 episodes ago? Because, Sicario, in the movie now, it takes time to get across the border each way. And
did it take time to get into Mexico too?
For them, it wasn't because they're like, oh, we're the government. Yeah. But everybody else, they're waiting in line. Yeah. And fucking apparently driving into Mexico from what they were doing, or were they driving out of Mexico? No, they're driving into it because they didn't have did they have the guy with them already?
No. When
they shot the guy. I don't think they had him yet.
Yeah,
they did.
Yeah.
So then that's
why they were leaving.
That means the guys leaving. Those two groups of guys are leaving Mexico with guns on them.
Yeah.
Why did they not get stopped?
They hadn't reached the border yet.
But then they would get... okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. So let's talk about this movie. Who's in it?
Starring Michael Douglas as Robert Wakefield, Benicio del Toro as Javier, Rodriguez.
Good.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
No, he's Javier Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
No, I was saying because the DEA guy is Javier.
Yeah.
What's it going to be, Javier? Catherine Zeta-Jones is Helena Ayala. Jacob Vargas as Manolo. Okay, these are not in very good order. I should have written these down.
Don Cheadle.
Louis Guzman.
Clifton Collins Jr.
Miguel Ferrer.
Topher Grace.
Why did we just see him?
RoboCop.
Hell yeah.
And then Christianson. What's the girl's name?
What is her name? Erika.
Erika Christianson.
So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, pretty much it. Clifton Collins. Was this Clifton Collins' first movie?
Oh, I don't know.
Because he looks very young. I mean, Don Cheadle looks very young too. Louis Guzman.
Does he?
I thought he did.
Just looks exactly the same to me at all times.
That's an interesting point. Because even when I saw Hotel Rwanda, I was like, how old is he? 30? Louis Guzman has looked the same forever. Like, I love Louis Guzman. Like, whenever I see him in a movie, I'm like, okay, there's going to be some silly. And he's definitely a little silly. I like when no, you give me the 10. And he's like, wait, what?
No, my favorite line is when she brings out the lemonade too. He's like, I'm going to take this to get analyzed right now.
Okay, so let's start with this movie, Mike. This was the year 2000 it came out? Exactly.
Yes.
So you and I were both in high school. Mm-hmm. Obviously high on heroin.
Yeah, smoking all the drugs.
Yeah. Did you enjoy this movie?
I did.
Yeah. I like it now even, and I think the last time I saw it was the first time I saw it. I've only maybe seen
shut up.
I've maybe seen this movie twice prior to this.
Really?
Yeah.
I have that cool Criterion one with the
Is
fat
that the
box.
steel case?
No.
Oh, that's not that cool then.
But it's like thick?
Yeah. Well, I know thick. That's all I know. I don't know anything else on that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, there's certain movies that
I've
I
seen
see.
it plenty of times, actually, I think.
There's certain movies that I see that I don't need to see again because...
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, well, not so much. I mean, yes, it is a bummer. I think the biggest bummer out of all was Michael Douglas's with his daughter.
You know what? It's funny you say that because I thought it was hopeful.
You thought well, it was, yes. I was hoping you were going to say something really gnarly, like, yeah, man, I thought it was great, all that fucking raping a minor and shit. Obviously, that's a joke, but like, yeah, she had yes,
all that non-consensual sex.
Yeah, she's high on life, and Topher Grace
what
alone.
What did I say? Contextual.
Contextual. You contextualized what it was. Topher's a predator, like because he's like she's high and he starts kissing her and shit. I'm like, all right, well, this isn't good.
I mean, at least she seemed conscious during that one, though.
That's fair. And then how nonchalant he's like, I want us both to come at the same time and take a fucking hit, and she's like, okay, and then they just start to undress. I'm like, well, they're not wearing rubbers. And speaking of rubbers really quick, Benicio in the bar, he puts the cigarettes on, you see the rubber there, and I was like, he's not going to use that anyway. Yeah. Like, even if it was there, like, they're not using it. This is the year 2000? Like, yeah, right.
How was that adhered to the box? Is there
That's a
clear
question.
tape around it? Or
I think
is it sticky stuff on the backside?
I think he slid it
what
into the...
sticky stuff did he use to stick it?
I know, right? I think because you know how the cigarettes have the wrapper around it? You take off that top one with that band.
Yeah.
And he left the bottom one on there and slid the rubber in there, which to me...
that seems difficult without tearing it.
Exactly. But also, the rubber would hold it in place because it's putting a little bit of...
tension?
Yeah, so that way it just stays. But maybe he used jism.
You know what else had tension? Fucking Clifton Collins' pants.
Jeez. He was engorged. Like, his penis was probably just all tight in those pants. But anyway, you like the movie.
Wait, is that who it was? It's Clifton Collins, right?
I thought that was Clifton Collins, right? It has to be Clifton. It looks like him.
It's just the cast is so messed up on here. It has random assholes listed instead of like top to most.
And now that we established we like the movie, so that was the episode. So thank you guys for listening.
Yeah.
And next week we're going to be watching Twister. So my first note that I have on this movie, which I have plenty, is I love Benicio del Toro.
He's so good.
I don't think there's a movie that I've ever seen him in that I didn't like him in. I mean, The Way of the Gun was not the best movie, but he was so good. Him and Ryan Phillippe in that.
I don't know if I've ever seen that movie.
Pretty fucking good. Like, just their acting. The story, I can live without it. But there was a part where Ryan Phillippe said to this girl, he's like, shut the fuck up before I come start your mouth. And I was like, oh my God. And I think I saw that when I was like 20.
He says that to a girl?
He says it to a woman. And she's with her boyfriend. She's like, do something. And then they go and fight. But that's a fucking gnarly line.
That's a gnarly line.
Yeah, that is. Anyway, Benicio del Toro, I call him BDT. And so when I see him, I give him a high five, then a little dick tap. And what's up, BDT? I wish I knew Spanish. I wish I knew Spanish.
Yep.
Remember when we went to Spain and we're like, we're gonna learn Spanish. We got enough time to learn. And I torrented the Rosetta Stone Spanish, like legit Spanish, like Spain Spanish. And I think I started doing the first module, and I stopped. And I'm gonna tell you why real quick. Okay. It's a short story.
The Laker game was like starting in 10 minutes.
Yeah. No, Laker was in the final quarter. There's 30 seconds left. Kobe had the ball. I was like, I gotta. No, so they were doing pictures, right? And in the pictures, it would show somebody doing something, and you had to say what they're doing based on the thing you already learned in the module. And there was a chef cooking, and I'm like, we didn't learn chef as a word. And then I was typing it in, doing whatever, and it wasn't correct. And I was like, then what's the answer? And the answer was spoon. But that was such a small object. And I don't even remember learning spoon, but I got so frustrated because the main thing of it, it's a guy cooking, right? Yeah. The spoon is so small, but the word was spoon. It wasn't just only a spoon. It was a guy cooking. So I got so frustrated with it. I was like, fuck this shit.
It would be funny in the video, he was actually just using a fork. So even that was wrong.
A fork with soup.
What spoon?
Like something that just you wouldn't use it. Yeah, that would be perfect. So I gave up on Spanish that easily and that quickly. Yeah, I am really a quitter.
I have a lot of sad owl emails from Duolingo.
Yeah.
For me not following up.
It's been 2,462 days since your last lesson.
Oh, no, it's only been like 4 days since that one.
Okay. What are you trying to learn?
Spanish.
Oh, okay, or currently? Yeah. I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah. So you're trying to learn your language that I'm sure your mother and father would love.
Yeah. In my village, this is what they
spoke. Do you think that you've had any progress with learning Spanish? Muy gusto?
You know what? I feel, speaking wise, well, it's one of those things that I know everyone who's trying to learn a new language feels the same way, where it's like you're like embarrassed to even try to speak it. Like, oh my God, you judge me.
Yeah.
But I feel like my understanding, like hearing words here and there, is getting a little better. So like you'll like hear a sentence and I could pick up certain words and I'm like, okay, you can kind of like puzzle together what this conversation is about. Yeah. So that's getting a teensy bit better, but I'm still a dumbass. So that's, sure. I think the thing that holds me back.
That's without a doubt. Well, there's never
the thing that holds me back the most in learning Spanish and in most of my life is I'm not smart. So that's where I'm at.
And it's interesting you say that because I'm aware of that, that you're not smart. But like neither of us. So here's the thing. Obviously, we're just self-deprecating because we're both very intelligent people, but we have varying intelligences. Yeah. Like I look at you and I see like book smarts, I see like random knowledge that you know, but like when you watch Jeopardy and shit like that, I can't compete in any way, shape, or form with those kind of things. Not at all. I don't think I know any of our friends, our mutual friends, can compete with your Jeopardy and knowledge and stuff like that. But you have a level of street smarts too. That I think that's where I come into play a little more. Yeah. Like I'm not saying that you are more or less of one thing than the other, but like I think that I have a lot of common sense and I'm also very much, what is it called? Like a problem solver in a I mean, that's a word to describe somebody, but like I'm very, what am I trying to say?
Like situationally aware?
I mean, sort of like, so I can plan things very well if it's something that I want to do. Okay. And like Mambi shit, like I would have, blocking set up. I would have all that stuff. Okay. Like, here's the script. Here's this. And like, granted, we were not good with time ever, but like,
yeah, but what set is? Or
that's fair. That's fair. But like, I think our intelligence.
Other than fucking Clint Eastwood or something.
I would say Quentin's probably pretty solid with that stuff too. No, or even Fincher. Like, I'm sure there has to be some kind of.
God no! What are you talking about?
I guess like he'll run.
Takes and shit.
That's fair. But I think you and I have different types because intelligence and smart is different to me. Like I think you're very smart, and then you have good intelligence. Well, I think I'm like quick and like on my toes. Like I'm able to like figure something out real quick. I'm not saying that you can't, but I think since you're so smart, I think you take a different route.
More time to consider.
Right. Well,
which can be react. Like paralyzing and sometimes.
Sure.
Because I'd like do a lot of building and stuff at work.
Bob's. You're at Bob's.
Yeah.
It's
stupid.
You're at Bob's building company?
Yeah.
He goes by Robert now, but yeah.
Well, I put an application for some bears too, so I'd be building them later.
The Bernstein?
No,
I know. I was hoping you'd go with like the fucking Tool Time reference or like, what was that? Bob Vila? Bob Vila's building extravaganza.
I'm thinking for a Bidford. What was this tool company?
Oh yeah, I think it is Bilford or Toolford. No. You're something along. I watch a little bit of Tool or Home Improvement. I hear Tim Allen's a fucking asshole. Anyway, so
I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, but So a lot. It's funny. We were just doing something the other day.
Was that funny?
It was complex.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you can kind of just get started and then just deal with it and work your way through it.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times I'm just sitting there like, what if I do like this?
Like tunnel
What if
vision?
I do like this? I do like this. And you realize that you're just standing there for 30 minutes. You don't have anything built yet. I'm like, well, you better get started on this.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're just constantly like trying to rework it in your head and it just takes too long. You just get paralyzed trying to overthink it, I guess.
When I say tunnel vision a moment ago, because at a previous company I worked at, we had a technician that, like, once he started working, like, everything was out the door. He was only focused on that one thing, which is great, but not when you're working on it for like 9 hours straight. And we're calling you, we're texting you, like, what's going on? Like, you have another appointment, what's going on? Like, we need to know what it is. And since we don't know, it's kind of like we have to start rescheduling things. We got to do this or this. Well, I wouldn't do it. I'd have CSRs do it. But so I get it. Like, but at the same time, it's good to have that. Like, you want to plan it out, but at the same time, obviously, it is situational. So, like, if there's a car accident, right? My typical first thought is, are people okay? Like, I'm going to run to it. And then, I got my Law and Order ready, which are my fists, just in case someone's trying to run from the scene, just punch through a window and grab the person.
Put in your earbuds in, put Foo Fighters on.
Yeah. Take my hero. I don't know what the song actually says. Just you got to jump for the bushes. Hero. Okay, there goes my hero. But, like, I'm sure you'd be similar in those aspects too, right? If someone's hurt or there's an accident, like, but again, I know it's situational. But, like, I think that I'm quick on my toes. There's a word to describe this. One of my teachers even used it, and I can't remember what it is. I don't have good brain, so I give good brain, but...
That was funny. You said it singular. I'm like,
yeah. I'm going to run with that real quick. What notes do you have, Michael? Because I got a plethora.
Okay. So Louis and Don are, I think, one of my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
Just because there's...
Good partnership.
So funny.
Like, don't tell a joke. Don't tell a joke.
Yeah.
You can tell it. And he's like, it's cool, man. I won't do it. Let me tell a joke. And that first joke, I was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
The second joke, I really wish he would have finished. Like, I'd like to know what was going on with the dick tattoo.
I wonder, like, in the writing or Soderbergh...
If it just said...
just thinking about the movie. Yeah. Like, if he thought they were too funny for the movie, because it is... Like, are they too funny for the movie, or there's like a nice comedic break in like such like heavy subject matter?
Well, it's Louis Guzman, so I would always think that there's going to be silliness from him, and just like John Leguizamo, like I'm thinking I'm going to get something from and John Wick, not so much, but like John Wick's a silly guy. I'm not John Wick. I'm sorry, John Leguizamo's a silly guy, but there's certain people that I see as that comedy relief, and Louis Guzman. When I saw the Count of Monte, was it Count of Monte Cristo he was in? Like, or was it The Man in Iron Mask? I think it was Count of Monte Cristo.
I mix them up, I forget.
Okay, I do too. But I'm pretty sure it's the Count. And I knew once I saw his name, I was like, oh, there's gonna be some silliness in here. And like, you can't look at his fucking face without thinking silly. And what did I even watch recently that he was in? And it was about someone with drugs.
Shameless?
It was Beverly Hills Cop. Oh, okay. It was Axel F.
The new one?
Yeah. Which, in my opinion, should have been in the theaters. Like, watching it, I was like, okay, this easily could have been in theaters. But Louis Guzman was that for just a second. And, like, it was just silly. Like, he was over the top with his character that he was doing and stuff like that. I'm like, well, Louis Guzman, you can always rely on him being silly and bringing it.
Yeah.
And it's too bad that I remembered from watching this movie the first time, which is, again, like fucking 24 years ago. And again, I'm likely seen it since. But I was like, doesn't he die? And then spoiler alert, he gets blown up. But... You're right. They're probably my favorite part of this movie. There's one other part that I enjoy. Oh, it was the end with Dennis Quaid when the guys subtly walk in. I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna kill him, right?
Oh,
and you see the gun, and he's like, like I was like, okay, he's
super fucking creep.
I wrote in here, who is Dennis Quaid in this movie? What is his role? Is he
he's his attorney, like his right hand man, his confidant, probably.
But he wasn't his lawyer.
I think he's more like a
finance advisor.
No, like the family. You know, like rich guys have like the family friend attorneys or something like that.
So he's like the Kardashian to OJ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally just thinking that. Yes.
I was trying to think of who he was portrayed in the thing. I was like, what was their last name? Oh, fucking Kardashians.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like
that's what I would put him as.
He knows his friend and stuff like that.
He's not a trial attorney, so he's not going to represent him in the trial. But he's like he's like go-to guy.
Right. Like, I have a question.
Shit, yeah.
So if I happen to stab my wife, like, what happens? He's like, oh, well, let me tell you, OJ. Which I don't want to get into that. I want to get, but yeah. So that's what it could have been.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
A friend. He's like, I've known him for 20 years or whatever the fuck it is. But did he fuck Catherine Zeta-Jones?
He wanted to.
He wanted to for sure. Like when she's on the table, like, who would want that? And he's like, I think his dick was already out.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, oh, no.
He's just already rubbing it on her pregnant belly. Something's tickling me. That baby's kicking. Oh, yeah, don't mind that.
Stop putting snail trails on my belly, motherfucker. He wanted to fuck her bad.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, again, he's sitting close to her. And
He's already imagining what he's going to name the baby. Probably after himself.
Yeah.
That the dad
It's not even his kid, but he's going to name it Dennis. Which I think would be funny because it's not his name.
How about Randy? I like the name Randy.
Yeah. I like the name Randy. It reminds me of like someone real cool that's probably going to lose their shit a little later in life too.
Maybe Jack.
Oh, yeah. You know, he recently came out saying like, he's like, yeah, nepotism. I get it. But like, I think I earned it here, like based on his acting. I'm like, I agree with that.
He just acknowledged it. That's all you have to do.
Just like,
he's like, I think he said like, I'm an extremely privileged person. Getting your foot in the door is half the battle.
Yeah.
That's not to like put down the work I do because I do hard work. But I'm not gonna
like Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
Nepotism get in there, but she's fucking crushed it for the last 40 years. So like,
oh my god. So I did finally watch The Bear.
Okay.
It's fucking
that Christmas episode.
Yeah, it's
again. That's the only episode I've fully seen.
It's brutal. Like it's
the tension alone. All the close-ups of everybody, I'm like, this hurts me a lot. Like, cause it's just
that whole shit. Like those past two, like 70% close-ups. I'm like, oh man, take a step back.
It's like I'm watching fucking Moon
First
Man.
Man?
First Man. Fuck the Moon Man.
I was like, I know what he's thinking. Okay.
Yeah. But no, The Bear is just constant tension. And I realized that too. After the first season, they started allowing fucks. I don't think there was fucks allowed in the first season, but second and third.
That's what I don't understand about those shows.
I don't know the profanity.
I only stream them.
Yeah.
On Hulu.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they
say the fuck live.
On FX, if they're on FX even.
I think they are.
I think
they are. Just like it's always
Shogun's on FX, right?
Mm-hmm. Was, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But I'm like, so do they just do the same thing and they just bleep it out? Are they allowed to cuss on?
It's a great question. It is a great. I know they can say shit and asshole.
Yes.
But fuck, I don't know, and I don't watch it. Same thing as you. I just stream it. So I've only seen a couple things of the Bear. Like, why is it called the Bear? Why are they calling him Bear? I don't understand that. Is there a reason why they call him Bear?
I think they explained it. I forgot.
Okay.
I know he has like dreams and there's like a bear in the city or something like that.
So he's delusional. Oh, and it's in the dream, so it doesn't matter. Okay, that doesn't matter. Because I mean, all those dreams that I've had about spiders. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's.
Although you know how I just went to the record store earlier.
Yeah.
That song that always plays when like shit's about to go. Then like digga 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 digga.
Okay, yeah.
It's the punk song.
Yeah.
Refused, and I just bought a Refused album. So pretty pumped.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, thanks.
Can you tell by the tone of my voice? I'm ecstatic. Yeah.
Calm down.
I'm
sit down.
I'm truly like I'm engorged too. So I wrote obviously.
Put it away.
No, I gotta leave. I gotta let it breathe, and you gotta admire it. So obviously the general is selling drugs, but he wasn't selling. He was working with the cartel. Like I get it. Like he was trying to take him out.
Well, so like his whole front is like, ooh, we're gonna work together to clean up Tijuana.
Yeah.
To get these guys out of there. When in reality, he's just gonna use that to clean them out of the way. To team up with that other guy who they thought was dead.
Yeah.
To take over the area.
What kind of intelligence does the United States had to be like, he's dead, and then he's clearly alive? And I was like, how stupid is our government supposed to be in this movie? But apparently very. Let's see. These filters are intense and hurt my eyes. But you told me that before we started recording. The blue especially. The blue really hurt me.
Oh, see, Mexico hurt me more.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because it's so bright, and my couch is so close to my TV. I'm sitting there. Because sometimes.
Well, you're only like 20 inches away.
Yeah. Well,
your face, that is.
If I lay back, it's fine. It's still too close, but it's whatever.
It's too close.
But sometimes if I'm watching a long movie, you just shift around in your seat. So I'll turn my other way and I'll put my face on the close side of the thing.
Oh my god! So you're like,
looking up like this. Well, I've seen the movie before, so I don't need to like concentrate that hard.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I'm sitting here, my head on the thing, and then it switches to yellow. I'm like.
A fucking cat.
I'm thinking vampire.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's right. Really? You think a vampire compared to a cat? Vampire's his? Okay, that's fair. Either way. Yeah, I get it. Okay, because light. Okay, that's fair.
So I'm like, oh my god, my fucking retinas. Jesus Christ.
My sepia-toned eyes. Because I think we've made jokes about this with Soderbergh. Like when we were watching Sicario, I didn't know if we're in Mexico or not because it wasn't sepia. Yeah, because
I told you, like 2 weeks ago, I was in El Paso, and you can see Juarez just across the border. It's just a wall of yellow.
That's where it starts.
Kind of like the dome in Infinity War.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say the dome in WandaVision.
Oh, that's it.
It's like the red. Yeah. Oh man, that would be fucking unreal. If you just look at Mexico, you see yellow, and then you look a different direction, it's like normal colors. Like, what is it about?
Although it did look good at night because it's like
All the fireworks going off, but truly it was gunfire.
Well, I didn't see that. I was like, "Oh, where's all the little red lights?"
Yeah,
but it's a huge city, so it's just all lit up. So it looked cool.
Okay, you have fun.
Yeah, I did.
Did you eat a lot of meat, or just beat your meat?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, I did.
Let's see. These filters are intense. Looks like a U-Haul or a public storage, but they named it looked like a public storage at the beginning with Don Cheadle. Was this movie shot low budget? Because it looked like shit sometimes, like as if they just started using like Sony VX1000s. And
I was thinking this.
Like they shot it on like mini DV tapes or something like that.
That was my next note. I was like, did this transfer or whatever look fucking terrible? It did not look good.
It didn't look good.
Not at all.
Like there's many instances I'm like, this looks out of focus.
Yep.
And at times it looked very grainy.
Yep.
And at times it's like, I mean, it's all handheld is what it seemed like. So that's why it would kind of make sense if they used smaller cameras to keep the budget down. I had heard that some in the late 90s, early 2000s, they used a Sony VX1000 or 2000s for movies compared to using obviously the bigger, more expensive cameras, more film. Because mini DV tapes are super cheap. You know, you get a 5-pack for like $30.
Yeah.
But you get a whole roll of film, as in like a reel. I mean, that's a couple $1,000s, right? But I used to have a Sony VX1000 too, if you remember that. I used it for skateboarding. But no big deal, guys.
But I don't think he was part of that I forgot that name now. Dogma 96, is that what it was? The Large Frontier group with
for like amateur
filmmakers where they like wanted to keep everything down to
low budget
using fucking videotape and shit and stuff like that. But I don't remember Soderbergh being part of that. Maybe he's like
well, he's made some movies now that are like very low budget, right? Didn't he make that one with that porn star?
That's right, yeah.
And it was with like Elijah Wood and
The Girlfriend Experience?
no, that was a show, wasn't it?
I thought it was a movie first that he made.
Oh, maybe, because even The Girlfriend Experience, sometimes when I saw things of it, I'm like, oh my god, like that's just a woman sucking a dick, and like not full on showing it because it was like out of focus or whatever it was. Like, man, she's fucking sucking.
And
a
then
cock.
he made the action one with Gina Carano. What was that called?
Not good, I think.
Where they like dub her voice for some reason.
I think it's called Right Wing Extreme. And but let's see, Steven Soderbergh. The one that he did with the porn star. What the fuck was her name? Because she was like
Sasha Grey.
Sasha Grey.
I thought it was The Girlfriend Experience.
Well, let me look. Hold on.
Fucking look it up.
That's what he looks like. I never actually knew what he looked like.
Did you? No.
Yeah, I didn't.
Looks like Moby.
Yeah, his brother. He's Bobby.
He's Dick. His brother's Moby.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. He did Che.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed Che.
Yeah.
Haywire.
Haywire. 5 hours or whatever it is. Yeah.
Haywire's the one you're talking
there you go.
about.
The action one. Yeah.
And then he did Logan Lucky. I actually really like that movie too.
There you go. He's done a lot of movies.
He has. Let me see. Steven Soderbergh. Yeah, he directed this movie. I really like the movie, but like it had a good mix of humor, is what I really liked.
Oh, that's the heist one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I remember that one. Yeah,
very
that
enjoyable.
was a good movie.
Yeah, very enjoyable. Magic Mike's Out of Sight.
I mean, it felt like a redneck.
Oceans.
Yeah. Right.
And you're right. The Girlfriend Experience.
Yeah.
That's Sasha Grey. Yeah, I heard she was just horrible. And I mean, there's been many instances
Horrible
where
to work with.
Just as an actor. Many instances of like porn actors and actresses trying to get in the mainstream movies that just
she was
garbage.
in Entourage, I think. She was fine, but just kind of.
Of course, they would have her
dark
in that.
and mysterious.
You got Jeremy Piven in there, like he's a fucking creep. But not throwing him under the bus, but I think it's well documented that he's kind of.
Oh, in real life? Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that sucks.
I think that his show got canceled because there's some accusations against him, like just being kind of skeezy.
Pervin with Piven? They canceled that? Who would have thought?
Piven the perv. But Pervin with Piven's like you're roaming the streets, just to be like, yo baby, what's up, Jeremy Piven? You want some money? Yeah.
Driving by high schools at 3 p.m.
Oh man, how old are you? Oh fuck. So I put rich kids, man, the worst. Am I right? Because like they just have unlimited money for the most part.
Topher's such a douche in this movie.
My
oh my god!
But it's kind of fitting of him, right? He's he's kind of like that. He's kind of an asshole.
They're privileged. They think they're the smartest kids in the room, and they can do whatever they want.
But it's also,
including crack.
Yeah, it's interesting that I mean everybody's different, but like she went hard for it, right? Like he seemed
well. That's addiction, right?
Right. But he seemed okay.
Yeah.
Right? Like a functioning person.
Yeah.
And I know of many, well, not know personally, but I know many people that can be functioning like addicts and functioning drug addicts and alcohol and stuff.
But he almost seemed, which I didn't realize, I guess existed. Maybe I thought with like actual snorting coke. I don't think anyone's fucking freebasing, but where you have like those weekend users that just use like for fun at parties and shit like that. But like the rest of the time they're on their merry way doing their normal job.
Didn't I tell you that I worked with these guys that at a small company, and we did a random drug test just to do it because like they had never done it. And because they're like some of the driving was a little excessive, and so he's like, "Oh, let's just do it." So he did it for the whole company, even the office, like me and stuff like that. Obviously, I'm coming out clear. I was just saying, like, oddly enough, it said clear for drugs and alcohol and that shit, but it said penis large. It was very interesting. Yeah. But it was only
did that fit in test machine?
Girth too girthy. But
had to take them to the zoo to use that machine?
They had to use the animal.
What they're putting animal penises in testing for, I don't know. But you're the one who took the test.
I'm
so
using
it's up to you.
an industrial weight at a warehouse to stand up. They weigh the penis first, and then they weigh me. Like, oh my god, I think it's 20 pounds. Anyway, so he did the drug test.
You normally use this to weigh freight, but get those cock out there.
We check bales of fucking of wood, but let's put your dick on it. Let's see what happens. And it's like, and then just drop because it's made of steel too. Yeah. It's like, you know when you have a ruler over a desk and you flip.
You see the dick wave
in sunlight? It's like it looks like it's going slow. Yeah, that's what my dick's doing. So everybody got drug tested, right? Yeah, and it's thin like that, but it's wide. Yeah. So they got tested, and then one of the guys came out. There's meth, and two guys technically.
Nice.
And
why do you know these results?
It's a very great question, and there's no HR at that organization. Yeah,
like an invasion of everything.
Well, here's the thing. So my boss had questioned them one at a time. He's like, "Hey, like this is showing this," and he's like, "No, I would never do that." Now, looking at this guy now, and knowing this stuff, I'm like, okay, I could see this. And but the other guy, he's like, "Oh, I had poppy seeds," and we're like,
"It's heroin."
So trust me, I'm aware of this. And so I was like, I told my boss, like, that's not how that works. That's not that. And he's like, well, I gotta let them work here. I'm like, why? He's like, because they're great, whatever position they do. And I was like, but they tested positive for this stuff. I don't know what you could possibly take that shows that you have meth in your system, unless it's like what you're at a clinic trying to get off of it. Like, don't you at a methadone clinic? Like, they give you some of that to curb your addiction?
But like, if it takes like Adderall and stuff like that, that's speed.
Okay. But yeah, so neither of them had an excuse really. And the poppy seed one, the poppy seed one, I was like, that's not how that works. And so he let him keep working there.
But now I have more questions. Like, okay, where was it in your written policy to not use drugs for employment?
Correct. So we did have an employee booklet that none of them actually had, but it was written. And they all signed it. So like they had to read it and they had to send their own copy. They didn't get their own copy of it, which I don't know if you can do that. I don't know if you could do that in the state of California because I think you have to provide the guidelines too. And so when I worked for an additional company later, they didn't have the guidelines, and I told them, like, you guys really need that. And because when I got hired there, I don't even think I signed any paperwork because they already had my previous information, and so we just went with that. But that ended up being in my favor because I was supposed to be getting paid hourly, but he made me hourly salary. So I was salary no matter what, and I didn't know that for like a year. And then I started calling out more because I was still going to get paid for it. But then I also got overtime. So he paid me my hourly rate as a salary position, but then he also gave me overtime. I was like, fuck, man, I could have just been taking off many days and not even knowing it. And so that was great. Anyway, so those people still work in the industry that I work in now. Big ups to them. But one of them, from my understanding, had kids and stuff like that, completely like clean. They're like, hey, I got to be there for my kids. I think he has like 3 kids now, and I'm super happy for him because he looks like he's having super fun, or he could just be super high all the time, and that's why he's enjoying life. Yeah. But because he's following that pink elephant, purple elephant. What is that? Heroin? I don't know. Anyway.
I think it's a
white elephant, purple elephant, whatever, man. Whatever color you see. Let's see here. Topher's a predator, for sure. Even though, yes, she's more or less on board with that. I wrote Treadstone. Oh no. Because the fucking guy, I was like, Treadstone's alive. That's a reference to what, Mike?
I forget.
Jason Bourne.
There you go.
I would have fucking loved it if he closes a folder and you see, Jason Bourne as Michael Douglas comes in.
I was thinking, What's the organization in Captain America?
Hydra.
Hydra. Damn.
Hail Hydra, buddy.
Sorry.
It's not just Captain America, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Are you going to see Deadpool?
Of course.
Okay.
When does that come out?
The weekend of Comic-Con. 26. So I'm sure Ryan Reynolds somebody will be there for it because Marvel's going to be there. Let's see. Are feds allowed to talk to criminals when they're in the hospital like that with no representation for them?
I mean, it's up to the person. If you're willing to talk, they're gonna listen to you. But it's up to you to invoke your own rights to say, I will not speak to you without the presence of an attorney.
So okay, obviously
you're not required to speak.
Right. But let's just say we don't know this aspect of it because we don't know if there's anything that happened prior. So let's just say he gets arrested, right? And they're trying to talk to him. He's like, I need a lawyer. And then they're supposed to cease right there, right? They're supposed to stop. All right, you got it. And that fucks everything up for you, but whatever. You're not working with us, so suck a dick. So let's just say
if they read him his Miranda rights,
right.
Like you have the right to remain silent. And he
fair.
can just remain silent.
But if let's just say he invokes everything and he wants his lawyer. And then they're like, okay, we're done talking. And then now he's in the hospital. And then they come in there. Are they supposed to still, they can't talk to him without that lawyer? Or can they still go in there and be like...
I think you can talk however much you want to talk. It's just he's not required to respond.
Okay. So he's just an idiot.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he did what was best for him. But he said it from the very beginning. He's like, I'm a dead man. Like, I'm not going to... And
he knew he's fucked.
Yeah, he's done. When you used to be able to meet people at the gate of an airport, thanks a lot, 9/11, is my note.
Who flew?
Michael Douglas. Remember when he got in and they're like,
that's right.
They're like, hey, Dad. And like they're there at the fucking...
Where were we?
Because you can't...
I kind of remember doing that too.
You can't... The closest you could do is like the entrance of the airport. You can't go past the check-in anymore.
Where would you even park? That's a
great... Well, they have the like the parking structure. You're LAX, like there's parking structures. Anywhere you go.
Park and walk.
Oh, I would not want to park and walk. No, absolutely not.
If I'm picking you up from the airport, you're meeting my ass at the curb.
Not only that,
100%.
like you got to time it. So like the moment I land and I have internet access or whatever, I'm gonna text you like, hey, I'm landed.
Yeah.
So that way you can be down the street just fucking jerking off somewhere.
I think my house is pretty good. Distance-wise to LAX.
Yeah.
So if somebody like lands, I'm like, cool. And I can leave my house right then and there, be at LAX in like 20 minutes. So it gives you time to go use the restroom, get your luggage, and then meet my ass at the curb, and you're good to go. I think.
When I get out of an airplane, because I have never checked. I've only ever had a stowaway. I've only had a carry-on. Thank you. So I'm in and out.
Luggage?
I've never needed anything. Remember when we went to Spain? I had just
that little baby bag.
Yeah, and I got through a week and a half. Shirt? I had 2 pairs of pants.
That makes sense.
I had I think 17 pairs of boxers, and then I had 20 pairs of socks.
How tiny are you, little baby?
You got to roll this.
You stick a pencil and wrap them. You're like 4 pairs on there, bro.
Wrap all 17 on one thing because it's just fucking dental floss. They're all edible, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But no, I rolled everything. I didn't fold it, so I rolled it so that way I can push everything in a little tighter.
Okay.
I think the only thing that was a little loose was, I think I brought a sweater just in case, which is stupid because we're in fucking Spain in
It
summertime.
got a little chilly.
At night?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. But
That's
we didn't really go out. Not always. Okay. But we didn't go out that much at night. And we did a couple times. I really regret giving my sister that fucking compass that I got. I kind of want that compass back, but I gave it to her as a birthday present. So I know I can't get it back. But I bought her a present because she's the only person I bought a present for while we were there. I was like,
I bought a bunch of shit.
I know you did.
Just little, keychains and.
Well, I knew that if we brought it back, we might have to pay if we didn't declare it. But it was something so small, I was like, well, I'm just going to hide this. And obviously you buying souvenirs, little things like that, I'm sure they're not going to give a fuck. But if you come back with a necklace and a purse, I'm like, oh, you need to pay us for that.
Remember, I wanted to bring a guitar back.
You did.
I just didn't know
You looked into it, I think, didn't you? Like how you could do it? Oh, man, that would have been... I mean...
I was like, how many bags of cocaine can I stuff in the sound bowl?
Yeah, I mean, so...
You just got to play, it just sounds like... There's not much sound going in this thing.
Why does your
Don't worry about it.
Why does your guitar sound like it's dense? Shouldn't it be open? Let's see here.
Every time I close the lid, just white powder shoots out.
Yeah, it's very weird. And you hear bags rustling in there. So Cigs in the Sleeve by Benicio. I wrote so hot. When he had him underneath the sleeve right there, and it made me think of Snake or something from The Simpsons, of course. Why is everybody so sweaty when they're doing drugs?
Yeah.
Those guys those kids when they're in the room doing coke together and smoking some weed and drinking.
How swampy are those assholes?
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Even when I can only even when the girl's getting fucking raped by the drug dealer and stuff, they're both so sweaty. I'm like, that is. Well, no matter what, that's a disgusting scene. But I was like, like, God, they're just so sweaty. Like, I get it. In the heat of the moment, and you're fucking, and it's like, granted, it looks hot as shit. It's probably humid as fuck. And what are they, Ohio?
They would have been... Yeah, it's Ohio.
Yeah, so that's probably
it's
murky
probably
as shit.
super
yeah.
humid.
And you know that room does not have AC or nothing like that.
That's an old-ass hotel.
And there's no sheets on that bed.
It has those old-timey fans with only like 3... covers. It's like kids just gonna stick their head in there, like chop their finger off.
There's no case. There's no shield on front of it. Yeah, they're just putting pencils in
but
it.
But it turns to go.
You had to crank it to start it. You had to crank it.
It's like the fan in 12 Angry Men, an old timey fan.
Oh, but like they're so sweaty.
So sweaty.
And I gotta think like, so let's just say it was the scene where they're in the kid's house or whatever, and he's ODing.
That got super fucking sweaty.
Yeah,
I mean he was dying too, so that makes
sense.
That too.
Yeah. Did he survive?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, good. What else do I have here?
Oh, that was a quick cameo too, right? Viola Davis.
As the that was. I mean, I don't know if that's like her first role for her or something like that. Like, but I saw her. I was like, dang, she's been in the industry for a long time too. You know what I knew? What I should always think about this. Whenever you have a partner that has sideburns like Benicio's does, he's probably gonna do something bad.
Yeah,
and he did. Actually, he wasn't doing this. No, he was doing something bad. He was trying to give away information to get money, right? Technically a good thing.
Well, as I see it,
the
general has them drop off Selma.
Right.
Selma?
Because
he wants them to see
as a test
the drug dealer.
Yeah.
To see if they'll try to sell the info to the DEA.
And the guy did.
Or
tried to. And so Benicio essentially did it so that way he made it seem like the guy did talk. Like he did it quick enough that he's like.
It feels like Benicio kind of did the same thing.
He did. Yeah.
They didn't catch him doing it?
Yeah, but he wasn't dumb about it. Remember, he left his truck. He just walked away and like walked by. Was it CZJ?
Yeah.
And sounds like I'm saying Sleazy J, CZJ, and then BDT.
It's SZA. That's
her name. But so he leaves. He's I guess walked all the way to California and San Diego or something like that to talk to the DEA. And I did like that scene where they're in the pool. And the two DEA agents are just, so what are we doing here?
I believe it's important for the United States in Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the way.
And he's just enjoying the pool a little bit. Or they're just standing upright like, I was hoping they were going to go to a baseball game. Like next thing you know, they're at a Dodgers game or something. Anyway, or Padres, wherever they're at.
Yeah,
I think they're in San Diego, yeah. So anyway, he goes on the record. And then later he tells the wife, like, what is his name? Manolo. He did he talked to them. He did this. Yeah. So he's the reason why this happened. So thanks to him, and she's like, I wish I can believe you. Which, however you want to take it, but apparently Benicio didn't get caught for it.
It's funny to juxtapose him and Manolo's wife and Dennis Quaid and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah.
Because the second the husband's in custody, he's all over her trying to hump her pregnant belly. But Benicio is just a good friend and doesn't even make any pass at her at all or anything like that. So just helps elevate his morality even more.
Well,
in the movie.
You kind of see that he has a moral compass, right? Like at the beginning, he's like, hey, you got to pay us to get through here. Put up your fucking hands, and they're gonna take those guys in, not ready to try to make money off that stuff.
Yeah.
And his partner seemed the same way. Like he's in about it. The only thing that really you start to see him start to kind of curve away, hanging out with the guys. He's doing the drugs, but he's just just fucking wait it out, dude. Like we're gonna get this. And obviously, do you think that was Benicio's what he's gonna do the whole time? Like eventually gonna turn, or is he gonna just try to work with the general? You think? Because he's like, hey, wait, and we're gonna get taken care of, right? Like we're gonna do this, but then. It was even after then he knew the general was doing shit bad. Like
maybe that's the moral conundrum he's dealing with the whole time in the movie.
And then he ultimately just chooses the right thing. Which ultimately, as long as you do the right thing, I think it's sort of all is forgiven, right?
The thing everything's in a gray area because he stops the general.
It's more of a yellow area.
But then
sepia.
More a dusty area. But then him taking down the general and what does that guy say?
Well, you take down the general, you save some time.
Right, but that just helps.
That's a bad joke. Because you call the general? That was horrible. That's the general, the insurance.
1-800 general now. That one, right?
Wow. That was bad.
I was just going to run right through
Thanks,
it.
Thanks, because it's shitty, and I had to talk about it. Sorry, go ahead.
But that just leads to Benjamin Bratt And Catherine Zeta and her husband just maintaining power and becoming even more powerful. If you think about it. So
Benjamin Bratt, quick cameo.
yeah,
Looking skeezy.
lots of cameos in this movie. Nice.
Let's see here. Can you imagine doing all of those things in high school? Not only do you...
Oh, no.
Well, no, in reference... I'm sorry, not in reference to the drugs, which that's a lot. But I meant for the daughter. She's number 2 in her class. She's vice president. She plays volleyball. She's this, she's this. She's like listing things out to Viola Davis. And I was thinking to myself, I did all the basic classes I needed to do to get done. I did no extracurricular. I would have played basketball if my... Okay, dickhead. I would have played basketball if my dad was like, supportive of me. I would have played... It's the bottom one, yeah. I would have done more chess because I love chess. And I would have been in chess club if it wasn't social suicide. I did do it in middle school. And...
You were in chess club?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I greatly like chess. It's just that I don't play it often because usually when I ask people they want to play, they're like, "Nah, all right, well." But like checkers is a different type of game, but like I think chess. I mean, no matter what each one of those games requires, strategy. But when I see people play it, like you have. What's that fucking guy's name? Borg? No, that's not Borg. I forgot. He's like a German. He's young. He was like the hot shit. Either way, in chess.
Oh, Magnus Carlsen.
There we go. Yeah.
I think his last name.
Just crushing, fucking crushing. Like, wow, I'm not even close to that level.
No.
My aunt's husband would always just crush me in chess.
My dad's good too.
Okay, I should play him. Oh, he's old now, so maybe I could just, use that to my advantage.
Push him over.
Yeah, take him at his shins.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I was going to say, and you made me forget. That's right. Good. Continue.
Okay, thanks. Let's see here. Husband became the cartel leader in Mexico. Okay, so Catherine Zeta-Jones' husband became the leader in Breaking Bad, is the reference to that. Because he became the cartel honcho. I'm pretty sure that's the same guy.
What?
Okay, so in Breaking Bad, the main dude that Gus kills, that he poisons and stuff like that,
yeah.
I'm almost certain that's the same guy as her husband in this movie.
Oh, the actor who plays
Yes.
him. Oh, okay.
Yes.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it is. Like, it looks just like him. And unless...
Actually, those flashbacks were pretty yellow looking too.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were.
By the pool, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah, the head's just leaking into the pool. So I watch a lot of border shows, like the Mexico border, oddly enough, the Australian border police. I watched the one for the UK.
Border of what? They're on an island.
That's what I'm saying. All of it, just anybody coming in. Like they have the ports for like mail. They have ones for flights. And I watch some of these shows, whether it's Canada border, whether it's Australia, it's the UK. I don't understand how stupid some people are to think like, granted, I'm sure many people do get through, but like for those few that they'll have pounds of drugs, or they're like trying to say, oh, they're declaring nothing on their stuff, but they have all this like, merchandise, right? Purses, jewelry. I'm thinking,
merchandising.
Yeah, the Schwartz. But like to think you're gonna get through. And then you're not only paying fines for it, it's going to be documented. So you're probably going to be checked every time you come through now because of that. And it's just not fucking worth it. Like, and some of these people are just so brazen. Just out, I'm fine. I don't give a fuck. And they try to get through.
I mean, but how does it work? Do you have to pay to bring stuff in?
Yeah. So you got to pay taxes if you're coming back in the United States. So, I believe there's a certain threshold. But like you do got to pay the taxes on it, especially if you're in Barcelona, right? There's no tax over there where you're buying your shit. So when you bring it over here, you got to pay. Which something I found out recently. Let's just say we as citizens of the United States, we were to move. Let's just say to New Zealand. We still have to pay taxes for here and taxes for there.
What?
Yes.
What are they going to do?
That's what we get.
Go get me?
That's what. No, you probably can't come back unless you pay it all off. But you got to pay both. So if you wanted to retire to New Zealand, and you had a job,
so until you're a New Zealand citizen,
I don't know. I truly don't know. But what I do know is I should have probably done research, right? But I do know like if we were to move to New Zealand, we move to the UK, we know anywhere out, Canada, like we still have to pay tax for being a citizen of the United States.
What kind of tax? Like income tax?
I think so.
So like if
the troll toll, I believe too. And
yeah, these answer these riddles 3,
or the Nightman cometh, and you don't want the Nightman coming out. I just watched that episode. It's always sunny. I fucking love it.
So if I got a job if I got hired by a New Zealand company and I moved to New Zealand,
yes,
as I don't even know what your legal status would be there.
I think you're a Kiwi. You know who I hear's a dickhead too? Anthony Starr.
Who the fuck is that?
Homelander in The Boys.
He does seem like a dick.
I've heard many stories now that he
Yeah.
is just a fucking asshole on set, like making people feel uncomfortable. That's the main reason why the one girl left. Something Sage, the redheaded woman from the previous season.
Mabel? Or Mate?
Yeah, Queen Maeve.
Maeve.
She wanted out of the show, like, because he was just a dickhead to her, like, just made her feel like shit, like, just talking down to her. Just
I don't know what it was. Maybe it was like an interview, but he had like an attitude. I was like,
Well, I saw
most of the time I don't put that much into those because who knows if it's like their 20th interview that day and they're just over it.
Yeah.
So I always give actors slack in that regard.
Yeah.
Like, who knows,
they're doing a junket. For
If this is a 3-week trip they've been on and this is week 3, like
I get it.
people have their limits. I
absolutely,
understand that.
absolutely.
But he did not seem cool, like not chill. So that's just me.
There are many things I've seen him when he seems pretty cool, but then there was a question in a recent one because The Boys season
At the
4
very
just came
least,
out.
super sarcastic, right? Or something
Sure.
like that.
But they'd ask, who's the most like their character out of everybody here? And they're like, him. Like, for him being like Homelander. And I was like, oh,
that's
boy.
not a good look.
Yeah, it's not a good look. But, like, Homelander's also, like, a parody of, like, right-wing fucking conservative. Like, that's why I don't understand how a lot of, like, conservative people are like, he knows what's up. I'm like, you guys realize he's fucking making fun of you? You fucking idiot?
Why they listen to Rage Against the Machine?
I know. Like, yeah, they know what's up. I'm like, okay,
I still have not started the 3rd season. Or
of The
fourth
Boys?
season?
4th season.
Okay,
Yeah. I heard there's a scene with Dennis or with Jack it's like a sexual assault scene. I'm like, ugh. I don't know why they had to push that so hard with some of the episodes, like just the super gnarly sex shit. I mean, that's fine. That's how the comic was too. Okay, like what was that? They had their large orgy thing and stuff like that. But But oh my gosh. Anyway, so I watch a lot of border shows, is what I was trying to say.
That's just your thing, or because of this? Since
No, I've just always kind of enjoyed those shows.
I didn't even know there was that many.
Oh, but dude, there's fucking tons.
On what? Everything? Hulu?
Well,
Netflix?
National Geographic has a pretty gnarly
there you
one.
go. Gotcha.
There's something. It's like Danger TV on YouTube. Like, I'll typically watch it if I'm at lunch at work, and I just need something on the background. If it's not that, then I'm watching people play Super Smash Brothers Melee, or if I'm watching like some Easter egg videos or something like that. Oh, what did I miss during Acolyte?
Mine are all reaction.
Really?
To movies and songs.
I know you sent me the one for the Kendrick for Not Like Us.
I do know that you probably saw it was on Reddit not too long ago, but there's that, I think it's like a 10-meter wide like shave in the forest in between the U.S. and Canada. Like every 10 years they go and cut the trees that have grown in there.
Oh wow!
So it's like a nice flat, open
I have not
space.
seen that.
You haven't seen that? Yeah. Looks cool.
Yeah. Do you follow Oddly Satisfying?
A bit, yes, yeah.
Yeah. I used to watch, or not watch. I used to follow power wash porn.
Nah.
And I stopped. Oddly enough, I keep getting links to like UFC. I'm not following anything UFC because I watched one fucking clip and it just keeps coming up. And were there fights? Did you watch any of the fights last night?
Yeah.
I heard they were boring.
They were okay.
Okay. I saw Rose won, I think.
Rose won, yes.
Okay. But it was decision, no?
Yes.
Okay.
She knocked the girl's eyelash off.
I saw that. That's the thing about it, right? They're like, oh, the biggest highlight of the movie. You should think, ding, coming up. Is she?
You got a fucking Clockwork Orange looking motherfucker in there now.
That's the one side. Is that other girl? Is she well known or something like
Tracy
that?
Cortez?
Yeah. Because I've seen a lot of stuff of her lately, and it's all about her body. I'm like, all right, guys.
Well, because she's pretty. She's very pretty.
Okay.
And she was dating a famous fighter like a year ago.
Bones Jones.
No, Brian Ortega.
Is that Jenna's brother?
Yeah.
Is he a dickhead too? And he likes Tuesdays? That's very dumb.
And there's like a whirlwind romance that they had for like 6 months, something like that.
Okay.
Like they're just all over each other's, Instagram videos and shit like that. And they're all like lovey-dovey. And then all of a sudden, boop, there it went.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I mean, that's the thing about celebrities, right? Like, they kind of hold the appearance for a little bit longer, trying to like, okay, there's certain deals or whatever. We just got to maintain this for a little bit longer, and then end it. Like the J-Lo stuff, even J-Lo and Ben Affleck. It's kind of like there's all this stuff. They're getting a divorce. They're selling their house. Doing this. I don't give two fucks.
Nope.
But like, they're still, I guess, trying to make it work because they're playing pickleball together now, and I don't know how I feel about that because I love pickleball. Anyway, that sucks. So people just talk about her because she's pretty. And she's a UFC fighter.
Well, because she's she's not that young, to be honest with you, but she's fairly new in her. Like I can even to make that statement.
Does she have a winning record?
Yeah.
Okay.
But she like I said, she's not that young, but she's still kind of considered like up and coming contender.
Is she in her 30s already?
I think so. I think she's 30.
Man, you would think like certain.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you would think certain ages.
I don't know exactly off the top of my head, so don't quote me because I'm not
Sure.
exactly sure.
Yeah, I don't think we have enough listeners that we even give a fuck. And
you
Mike,
want to be accurate. But,
yeah.
But so this was the biggest test of her career, definitely, because Rose is a former champion.
Yeah.
Well,
she's not a champion anymore?
No, she's not the champion right now. That wasn't for the championship.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Because I think last time I saw Rose fight was for the championship. Didn't she fight like a Chinese fighter a while ago? I don't know how long ago that was. That's the last one I saw of her.
Correct.
And
she's fought since then. Many times.
And so she's okay. So did she get the belt that fight?
She retained the belt.
Okay.
Well, no, yeah, she knocked her out the first time, won the belt.
Yeah.
Rematched her.
Yeah.
Kept the belt. Then her next fight, she lost to Carla Esparza.
Carlos?
Carla.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? That's mixed fighting now. That's not fair. Let's see here. So I put Selma Hayek, like question marks. Why is everybody so sweaty?
Yeah.
And CZJ be crushing it. Like when she's there with Benjamin Bratt. Just like, I mean, imagine if those dolls are real, which I'm sure there's an extent to that. There's truth to that. But like the fact that she literally took the bull by the horns and was like, we get this. You got to kill this motherfucker. You got to do this. And Benjamin Bratt's like, okay. I do like that she stood her ground with the like, I'm not doing that. I'm 7 months or 6 months pregnant. And she's like, all right, see you later. And he's like, okay.
Deuces.
Yeah. Like he's like, fine, let's see what's up. And he's like, oh, that's good. It's yours. Yeah. La cocaína, Mike. Is it? And then I put, is getting into the border that easy? Apparently it was back in 2000. And my very last note is...
That's right, because this is before 2001.
Yeah. I put Topher is great.
Is great?
Great. Yes. And his portrayal of an asshole,
yeah.
which I think it's probably too real that he's playing an asshole.
I wonder if this fed into the idea of him being kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, oh, he's just kind of aloof and kind of a dick.
He
plays kind of a dick during the movie. Mm-hmm. Like, see, I knew it, but it's obviously he's just an actor.
Yeah.
And he turned out to be a cool guy.
Well, wasn't it in Jessica's Game or whatever it was? Molly's Game that somebody was portraying him, or was it was that Tobey Maguire?
I think it was Tobey Maguire.
Yeah. Okay. So Topher's portraying Toby, or the other?
Yes.
Okay. Which I did enjoy that movie too.
That's a good movie.
Jessica Chastain is great.
Yes.
Well, Mike, did you like this movie?
I did.
Yeah, please. Because you never have a lot of notes.
The helicopter upside down camera shot, like what the fuck is going on there?
Yeah.
That's one of the shots where I was watching, laying close to the couch. I'm like, wait, what is happening? It's like turning in my...
Yeah.
It's... You know what I'm saying? Because it's here, and then it lands upside down, and then it flips again, right? Doesn't it?
Seemed like it.
Still upside down?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how does that... What do you put?
I don't know. It's camera rig? I don't know what that could be. Yeah, it was a little jarring.
Yeah.
A little jarring.
I just thought it was interesting.
Okay.
It's kind of, we already went over the Lou Guzman stuff, so that's fine. I did want to check, because like you were saying, the transfer or whatever, the version of this, maybe this is how it's supposed to look. It just looks so fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And I did want to look for my DVD copy of it and just see, I'm like, is this how this is supposed to look? Well, because if anything's going to look good, it's going to be the Criterion Collection version of it, right?
Right. You would hope so.
So, but I don't know where those DVDs are, and it made me a little sad because I couldn't find it.
Well, I think a big thing that helps too is IMDb, because they'll have like the like extra shit about it, right? Like the did you know this? And
this movie looks like shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it says that the Criterion Collection DVD is presented in a 1.85 to 1, while the Criterion Blu-ray is presented in 1.78.1.
Oh,
so it's a little wider. But where is... That's all the trivia. I don't want trivia. I just want to know, like... just to know, like, how those... Because, again, this looked like garbage. So that's why I think it was shot on mini DV, and they blew it up to fit on film or on a screen. So it just... You lose that quality. But obviously you're watching it on a TV.
Because I guess the DC stuff looked okay. Like when it's
maybe
normal
the blue
color.
Okay.
So maybe the filters just fucked it up, because it looked the worst in Mexico, at least to me.
Yeah, there's sometimes where it's blown out, like when the wife was like ironing the partner's stuff after he had passed away, and there's a part where she's like looking away, and like there's like no texture to her face, like there's no definition to her face. I'm like, is it so bright?
I think it did her the dirtiest.
Yeah, I mean, but that sucks.
Yeah. But even like the DC, like there's like a lot of light coming through those windows.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jesus.
Yeah, I mean there was blowouts a few times, as in like it was a little hot with the light. But but I mean, maybe there's not much you can do with stuff like that, unfortunately. Like when you can block out windows and stuff like that with.
Yeah, it's a movie set. Put a fucking
Well,
shade
not
up.
all of that. Yeah, I mean, some of those were using. I mean, that was the real White House they used too. This was what it seemed like.
Oh, yeah, but the exterior shots.
Yeah, correct.
Sure, the insides were not. There's no fucking way.
No, for sure. No doubt. Anyway,
the music, especially near the end, I'm like, ooh, I like this like real ambient stuff. I'm digging it. And it's Cliff Martinez who did the Drive. Was the Drive composer as well.
Okay.
It's like, ooh.
I did leave the credits on for a little bit at the end.
Yeah.
Just like so it was there in the background.
So I had checked. I'm like, did this dude did he do Heat as well? I was like, ooh, that'd be exciting, but he didn't do.
Oh well, thanks for.
They just sound very similar.
Okay. Well, Mike, what is the next movie we're going to watch? Since we both love Traffic, what's the next movie that we're going to enjoy? Even though I said it earlier.
Right. Well, we loved it so much.
Yeah.
That we love the letter T. So we're gonna stick with T, and we're gonna watch in anticipation of the new movie Twisters with a Z.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch Twister
Plural.
with an R.
Yeah. Singular. I'm sorry, I said plural. Yeah, plural is Twisters.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is singular. So that movie has our favorite Bill Paxton.
It's over, man. Fucking dead,
It's a dry heat. It's Mad About You, Helen Hunt. And then it says Cary Elwes. Cary Elwes? Cary Elwes.
I think it's Elwes.
Elwes, okay.
Yeah.
He's, I guess you could say, technically the villain if it's not the tornado.
Dudes are sniffing the dirt over.
You got what? Robin Hood Men in Tights, Cary Elwes. You got Robin Hood Men.
Saw.
You got Saw's Cary Elwes.
Princess Bride.
Princess Bride's Cary Elwes. Liar Liar Cary Elwes.
Yeah. The Claw.
Yeah. Or he's like the Claw. But I haven't seen Twister in a very long time. I might cry because Bill Paxton's in it.
Yeah.
I've heard some positive reviews about Twisters.
I've heard not.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like they just keep trying to fucking push that guy in our fucking face that he's Glenn Powell.
Yeah.
That thin lip, handsome looking motherfucker. I think he's a good looking dude, but his lips are so thin. Like I can imagine if anybody kisses him.
True.
Yeah, it's all teeth.
Yeah.
Like you're kissing bones. You're literally kissing bones.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've kissed women or anything or men with like with a lot of teeth, but I have once and it's uncomfortable like to hit teeth. And
well, you don't have the smallest teeth in the world either.
I
so
don't.
that
That's
sense.
very true, and that's also something that I'm very self-conscious about. Thank you. No, because growing up,
not because they look bad.
I understand.
You're not bucked or
Sure, I
teeth
get.
or anything like that. Yeah.
Oh, what's wrong with buck teeth?
No, that's what I'm saying. I like character.
Anyway,
in
thanks.
a mouth.
Well, I could put some character in your mouth. Because growing up, people would make fun of my teeth a little bit because they definitely,
Really?
they didn't fit my head.
They're not. Oh, did you?
I've grown into
your
them.
teeth?
Yeah, I've grown into them and a little bit of my forehead because I got a big.
Because they're pretty
forehead.
straight.
Well, the top's okay.
Well, everyone's bottom teeth are crooked.
Well, like Will Ferrell's. I mean, those are jagged like fucking rocks. Anyway, so, but my lips are full enough that you think this would absorb a lot of impact.
Cushion the blow.
Yeah, but there's this one
You
individual.
should probably stop kissing from the top rope when you come in.
I'm coming in hot. You know what I'm saying? But then I'm about the people's elbow. I'm gonna fucking, and
People's elbow with your face.
But it just goes to the mouth. I'm just swinging my head. I'm not swinging on my elbow. But the one time that I did this with this individual, it's just like we hit teeth like 3 times, and then I was just like, I literally said like, okay, let's just stop.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then she.
What grade is this?
Grade? I was an adult. Oh. I didn't do anything in middle school, high school. I didn't do anything with any girl until I was over 18.
Okay.
And
Sucks.
so but trust me, there were many instances. I told you, I'm so
You're
oblivious.
like, I'm sorry. This is where you want to just blow me.
No. Here's the thing. Then I'd be getting teeth down there, and I don't want to grind it on skin.
Was it a Ren and Stimpy where like Ren is in like his mouth? You just like feel like the teeth like grinding.
They did many of those things
Yeah.
in Ren and Stimpy. That show is
He's
so
like,
ridiculous.
He's like, all right, now you got to eat him. He's like, what?
Ren and Stimpy is like, to me, Rocco's Modern Life is like that, because Rocco would get occasionally like not graphic, but like that, right?
Gnarly and gross,
yeah, gross. Which I loved,
Like
Rocco.
up their nose, like in
yeah.
Ren and Stimpy was
Ren and Stimpy was an adult cartoon that they edited for kids.
Yeah.
which is just gnarly to me that they would allow that in the 90s. Well, actually, I'm sorry.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was
Wow, I
definitely
didn't know
an
that.
adult cartoon. Yeah, there's nudity in it. So just like Dragon Ball Z, there's nudity in it. People were getting like blown up, like limbs falling off and shit, and they edited it out for kids.
I've never watched that, and I might start watching it. That's awesome.
If you can watch the actual Japanese version, yes, absolutely.
Really? Is that on that Crunchyroll or whatever you can watch?
You know, I don't like Crunchyroll that much. They keep taking things off of there, and they're like, we're never going to raise our prices. And then they did. So I never got into Crunchyroll. I would just find it online and just freely watch
Apparently,
it.
there's like a jazz movie that came out, and I think
it's called Jazz and Ball Z.
Yeah. There's already a Z at the end. Why don't you just say Dragon Ball Jazz?
No, because Dragon and Drazen. Fine. Either way. So we're watching Twister. Is the next movie we're going to do. You can make recommendations for any movie by emailing us at specrapular@gmail.com. And Mike, why don't you go ahead and take us away?
You told me to think of a song earlier, and I totally forgot.
I did ask you, I think before we started recording, and
there was Crosstown Traffic, a Jimi Hendrix song.
I don't.
So it has the name
I only
Traffic
know
in it.
2 songs by Jimi Hendrix.
Here we go. What's spectacular? Gonna watch now. Do 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 do. Spectacular. Oh, I fucked this one up already. This is not.
We'll do a take 2, everybody. I'll edit this out so we won't hear it. 1, 2, and Mike, why don't you?
We should leave this in.
Okay.
Because sometimes you just got to know when you fail.
Yeah, and I was going to leave it in anyway, and just
you're just going to tell me that you. I'm gonna listen to. Wait a second.
You're listening to like that son of a bitch, and you're going to line up your knuckles.
How would it go? Spectacular.
Why don't you do that 70s show as Specrapular? Because Topher Grace.
Now,
so hanging out. Listen to Specrapular. Mike and Brandon. They're best friends and weak. They got things to do. And movies too. They're gonna talk about. Hello, listeners.
All right. Better than mine.
Oh, I knew that. Thanks, everybody.